Now let us learn about the 19th century English poet Dante Gabriel Rossetti. D G Rossetti is one of the chief poets of the pre-Raphaelite movement. He is a poet and a painter too. This Victorian poet was dissatisfied with the moral and social problems of his age. There was also a conflict between science and religion in that age. The contemporary poets like Tennyson, Arnold and Browning talked about it in their poems. So in this Victorian age, the poems were written with the themes like doubt, despair and consoling message. But D G Rossetti stood unique. Unlike his contemporaries, he does not talk about his age. He does not philosophize also through his poems. Now let us see his attitude towards beauty. He glorifies beauty in his poems. In his view, the outward beauty is the reflection of the inward beauty. Now let us see how he projects the theme of love in his poems. His poems deal with the theme of love, disappointment, frustration and betrayal. He worships the ideal love in his poems. He talked about even the union of spiritual and sensuous love in his poems. He is a realistic poet. Let us see about his realism. As a pre-Raphaelite poet, he gives minute and accurate details. Those details are very realistically given in his poems. His realistic description makes us believe that it is the world of reality. Next, let us see his symbols. Symbolism and realism are the predominant features in D G Rossetti's poems. As a painter cum poet, he uses many symbols in his poems. Those symbols elevate realism. His symbols add multiple meanings to the text. These symbols exhibit his poetic skill, his richness of language, and so on. Another unique characteristic of D G Rossetti's poem is he aims at giving accurate and precise detail. So he gives elaborate detail in his poems. In his early poems, simplicity rules, but in his later poems, with symbolism, he uses many symbols and so gorgeousness rules in the later poems. As he is a ballad writer, let us see about his ballads also. In his ballads, simplicity and directness are the predominant characteristics. His ballads express primal impulse of dramatic emotion. He added his own values and coloring to his ballad. He did not write in the exact tradition of the ballad, but his ballads have eerie atmosphere also. Another important characteristic of D G Rossetti's poems is he is fond of supernatural element. So in his poems we can find supernatural imagery also. So we have seen about his characteristics. From these points you might have understood how Rossetti is known for his pictorial genius, and there is a blending of pictorial and poetical quality, and there is a blending of mysticism and sensuous enjoyment in his poems, and he had no interest in science, philosophy and external nature. He is interested only in giving accurate, precise and elaborate detail in his poems. So simplicity rules in the earlier poems, and in the later poems, gorgeousness rules. Thank you.